Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. My question today is this: what is a black and white thinker? Well, black and white thinker is this: someone who just sees in either all or nothing, good or bad, either or. Someone who sees things as, well, black or white. There's really hardly any area of middle ground or gray area or colored area per se. But instead it's, again, either or. It's one or the other. It's kind of either the opposite of the extremes. If we were to look online and we were to do a search on this, we would see that black and white thinking is listed as a cognitive disorder. It's something that's seen in people with personality disorders. Well, we can't say this. We can't say that everybody that possesses black and white thinking has a cognitive disorder or has a personality disorder. Although there are different personality traits that are there in those who have black and white thinking or have frequent black and white thinking. For example, most people who are black and white thinkers they focus on the tangible things that are seen, touched, heard, or measured. Oftentimes those black and white thinkers tend to be more results oriented. They focus on processes and procedures. They look at standards and measurement in terms of what ought to be done or how things ought to be. They essentially look at the ideal and they measure things according to the ideal. Now, if you're married to a black and white thinker and you're on the receiving end of that, that doesn't always work out well, because you will probably feel like that you don't always measure up. Well, black and white thinking has some strengths to it and has some weaknesses to it. Again, with the thinking of the processes and procedures, well, a lot of black and white thinkers tend to be involved in like math and sciences and quality control. They tend to be very organized and structured. And some of these things are excellent. They're great strengths. But on the other hand, there are some weaknesses to black and white thinking, because not everything is either or black or white. One of the weaknesses in black and white thinking too is that the abstract concepts such as emotions and such is kind of difficult to grasp at times. Well, one thing we ought to recognize is even God is a black and white thinker. Now, he's not 100% a black and white thinker, but he does possess black and white thinking. At some point, he's going to be separating the sheep from the goats. He's going to be separate those who either know Christ or don't know Christ. He also wants us to be either all hot or all cold, right? And he says this in Revelations. And so black and white thinking is not just simply a cognitive disorder, although again it can get to that place, but it's also a way that we reflect God above. Now, we're going to be going through a series of black and white thinking videos, and I hope you can join me in watching those videos, because again, it's involved in many different things, many different struggles that we go through, and we want to recognize that. Again, recognize the strengths, but we also want to recognize the weaknesses. And if you want to know more about the black and white thinking, I want to encourage you to go ahead and pick up my book, The Black and White Thinking Christian, and this is available on Amazon.com in Kindle or in paperback form.